Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the 2024 XM Label, the vehicle previously known as the XM Label Red. So this is the G09 chassis and it's an updated XM. It's basically just more crazy power. So the XM Label G09 chassis, this is an individual frozen black, and it's got 738 horsepower combined and 738 torques, which is just an insane figure. So if you've seen some of the videos that BMW has put out, in particular I'm talking about the Pikes Peak Challenge. So BMW Performance Driving School lead instructor or chief instructor, Matt Mullins, drove a Label Red and actually ended up crashing it at Pikes Peak. Luckily he was okay, but this is now the record holder for, I'm guessing, I think it's SUVs, production SUVs, in terms of fastest times. They did another run in an XM Label, going up to set the record, so very happy for Matt that he's okay, and two, that he's got that record. So let's go over this XM Label. Now, in terms of looks, I think this thing has a real presence. And looks, I know that they're always subjective, but I think this actually looks pretty decent looking. Of course, you do have the split headlights and the iconic glow kidney grille there. But I think it looks pretty menacing. I think that's what BMW was after. And you can also expect this, we'll show it momentarily, with some red accents. So front of the grille, we have the XM badging outlined in red, our iconic kidney glow grille. Then, not exactly double slat kidney grills, but horizontal slats. Down below, we have the driving assistance professional stuff there. Again, basically everything on this car is standard, but for one thing. We got the parking camera there, which is obviously what you're going to need, given that this thing is a very, very large vehicle. And does it make a lot of sense? It is super expensive. We'll go over pricing momentarily as well. So over on the side, you can get this style wheel, style 922M wheels, with the red highlights on the wheel. So this is not the biggest wheel. You can get 23-inch wheels, but they don't have that red sort of highlight. Behind it, you can see the red, I don't know if they're M compound, but basically red calipers. And interestingly enough, this does not have cross-drilled rotors. So a little bit on the curious side. You can see we've got our charging door here, because this is actually a plug-in hybrid. You got your XM badging here, and see this red here is Toronto red, which you can get optional on the vehicle. This one does have it. This sort of gives it, at least in this particular color, a Batman look to it. Would it be something that Batman drives? Maybe. In terms of plug-in hybrid, it's a 25.7 kilowatt usable battery, so basically the same as the 50e X5. And in terms of range, you're looking at about 30-ish miles of full electric range. Charging times with level 2, about 3.5 hours. We've got our XM badging down here, basically up here, unusually placed, here outlined in red. And you have this homage, if you want to think of it that way, to the M1 with the roundels up there in the glass. Then quad exhaust. There's that 3/4 view. So they're in the sunlight. Again, individual paint is a no-cost option. I don't think BMW has done that since the early days of the M8, where you could actually get a no-cost individual color. Again, those colors are limited, and also production is limited as well. I forget what they've told us in terms of numbers, but I don't know, depends on the way you think about it, because this car is expensive. We sold the first two ones that we got relatively quickly, and the third one, Drive It Gray one, just sold. It was about 100 days on the lot. So I'm curious what's going to happen with this label, because obviously, one, the price is much more expensive, and the market is niche. You see our M-style mirror caps as well. So opening up, we have the Fiona red and black full merino leather interior. It's the only color interior that you will be able to get on the XM label. So pick your exterior colors carefully. You've got XM badging here on the head restraint, but otherwise really comfortable seats, well bolstered, and really nice touches with the contrast stitching in red. Then, of course, you got controls down here for your powered crumb catcher, lumbar support, bolster support, and upper portion of the rear seat. Then we got M badging. So again, I think this is sort of a miss here for BMW. Should have been XM rather than just the M badging here, given the price point on this car. All right, so let's go over the interior here. You see on the door card, more contrast stitching, very nice touches, and then some, hard to see here, but red venting, or red vents here on the interior. Bowers & Wilkins sound system, that is one of the few options you can get on this vehicle. Otherwise, everything is really standard on the car. Then we've got our iDrive 8.5M version with the instrument panel in front of me. Again, so it's not fully charged on the 48-volt system. Heads-up display. And maybe a more integrated look to the iDrive 8.5, I should say. Curved display. Then lots more contrast stitching on the dashboard. Then you got an M badge over here next to the passenger vent. And then more of the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. And then in case you forget what you're in, you got another XM badge here. Center console area, carbon fiber trim. See carbon fiber trim up here with basically some M colors into the weave. And it looks like it's the same weave down here. So very nice touches. Then the M embossed logo on the gear selector. And then, of course, stitching. But otherwise, very familiar center console. Steering wheel, got your stitching. Red M1, M2 buttons. And then the carbon fiber shift paddles. But not carbon fiber around the insert here. So basically got some, looks like chrome, and then also piano black. It's a little bit of a mishmash. All right, so let's start with the elephant in the room. Starting price of the XM label is $185,000. So it's an eye-watering amount. Then you can see frozen black metallic paint is included, same with the leather. You get active cruise control. You also get highway assistant as well, standard. There's a credit there for the NEMA adapter credit. There's also a charging system in the car. I don't know what's going on there. All these things are standard on the car until you get down to Bowers & Wilkins sound system for $3,400. All told, MSRP of $189,395. So that's an insane amount for a BMW. And I get where they're going with this. I think basically maybe a Lamborghini Urus competitor or a G-Wagon competitor, but it's a lot of coin for a car. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the back seat as well. And more shapes down here, geometric shapes here on the handle. Again, no comfort access for the rear doors. So here is the interior. So it's not a lot of red. So it's not very bold with the red colors, but lots of contrast stitching. Again, on the door sill, just an M label. That should be XM. And of course, some of the XMs, although I think the ones with the black leather on the regular XM don't have these throw pillows where you can have pillow fights in the back. But here's the view of the cockpit. Again, there is no moonroof here, so it's got a lot of geometric shapes up here for the ceiling. Sort of feels like Alcantara, and maybe a little bit of cardboard. I'm not sure what's going on. And you got a lot of ambient lighting here, so I think nice touches. Of course, it does make the car extremely dark. But, all right, so this is a nice touch here. So the back of the seats, little area to store things, nice leather and contrast stitching. But knee room and legroom is really, really good. I don't think you're going to complain too much about that, should you decide to purchase this vehicle. Headroom, no issue whatsoever. But a nice angle on the seats to relax a little bit in the rear seat. But very comfortable seats. And contrast stitching up here again on the door sill. Some more ambient lighting. Some quilting. Feels like leather and perforated. And you have climate control zones in the back, plus USB-C charging ports down here, as well as in the rears of the front seats. But otherwise, I think a pretty comfortable cabin. Oh, looks like we forgot, or someone locked us out over here. So let's go ahead and undo that, or perhaps... All right, so I think what happened is someone in the PI team, or perhaps something else, basically did the child safety locks on this door here. So I can't get out the door I came in, but I can get out the other door. All right, and of course you can also fold down these rear seats. So there's a latch just on like in the X5, pull it down, boom, a lot more space to haul things around if you need to use your XM to do that. You have little cup holders here. Nice touch. All right, make our way to the back here. There is no kicked open on the rear cargo area. But here's what the cargo area looks like. Pretty generous size. You do have a cargo cover here as well. And the piece de resistance, if you will, is this XM charging bag. So a very nice piece of luggage that you can use. You got your charging cord in here. It does say it's a turbo cord. I don't think it is that at all. But you do have a NEMA 1450 adapter, luckily, because the X550E does not have one. And you got this latch here with the M stitching. Very nice touches. And of course, you can get this bag on any other electric vehicle. I believe the charge is $250 if I remember correctly. So you can get this piece. Unfortunately, if you don't get an XM, you can still get this bag, but it has the branding for the XM. All right, let's go ahead and pop the hood here. So 2 poles down here. All right, let's see what's underneath the hood here. And sorry, it's a little bit dirty. I don't have my matte paint detailer set with me. So underneath the hood is the S68 V8 4.4 liter twin turbo engine. Of course, it is a plug-in hybrid as well. So again, combined output is an astonishing 738 horsepower. An absurd amount, plus the torque is crazy. Although not the torquiest vehicle BMW currently makes. But that is basically it for a tour around this, essentially a Batmobile in the XM label. So formerly known as the label red, hence all the red piping. Again, the red piping here all optional. So if you don't want it, you don't have to get it. So we do have, I think, 2 more labels coming, which is an insane amount. But that's it. We'll see you at the next video. All right, so one more thing I forgot. Let's go ahead and listen to the exhaust. I will note this car is basically still not broken in, obviously. And the rev counter is limited. I think it's still for the first 200 and... it's 320 miles. You can see the rev counter limited just about 4,500. Let's go ahead and listen. It is in Sport Plus. So I think of note, it's going to sound better once it's broken in. Hopefully. But that's it. We'll see you at the next video.